Big Questions with the Dead Milkmen.
Today's big question is, what is the worst charting song ever written and what makes it so terrible? Now, a charting song is any song that somehow has made it to one of the charts. I didn't define which chart. It could be Billboard, Cashbox, College Music Journal, or just any chart that I don't even know about. So,
Bob's favorite top 10 songs of 1958.
It's the astrological charts. Number 47
right.
for Aries, number 52 on Uranus.
But we're probably gonna determine what is the actual worst song ever written.
Yeah, and I want to apologize for that last joke. It should have been number 69 on Uranus.
And there are a lot of songs to choose from. Now, I looked at the Billboard charts. I confess I didn't look at them all the way back to when they started in the 40s, but I looked at an awful lot of them, and I came up with what I believe to be the absolute worst song ever written. And it is by Billy Joel, believe it or not. And it's called We Didn't Start the Fire.
Yes.
Believe it or not, it's made it all the way to number one in December of 1989. And I didn't know this until I started researching it, but it was Billy Joel's first number one. And he's written many better songs than this.
On a scale, of course.
On a scale.
Don't think of it as a number one. Think of it more as a number two.
It knocked off the top of the charts, Milli Vanilli's Blame It on the Rain. To give you an idea what they were going up against. 1989 wasn't the greatest year, but anyway. I was personally tortured by this song, by hearing it on the radio too many times. Why is it terrible? Okay. One, the music is repetitious, irritating, even on the first listen, at least to me. It employs a chord progression for both the chorus and the verse. It's the same progression, G, D, E minor, C, which is a famous chord progression known as the 1-5-6-4 progression that's used in countless hundreds of hit songs.
Maybe even Dead Milkmen songs? No, we wouldn't.
Well, we use the 1-5-6-9 on Uranus.
For the song Take Me Apart, I think it uses that, but it doesn't use it repetitiously like this song uses it. Just
maybe we need to do something and everyone hit.
I think we do, yeah.
But the only time he breaks away from this progression is in the middle eight, which is a true middle eight, and it uses the progression C, A minor, E minor, D twice. And the other thing that makes it boring is that every chord has 4 beats. The other thing that makes it terrible to me are the words. It's basically a list song. I didn't really get what he was going at till I read about it, but he's listing political figures and events from when he was around in the 50s all the way through up to 1989. So I don't know.
I thought it was about the tire fire under 95.
The fire.
Lots of scabs.
No.
Star Search
That was
makes me
mid-90s,
sad.
I think, actually. So, yeah.
The fire represents.
Maybe he did start that fire and he was confessing it before it even happened.
Maybe he did start the tire fire. I don't know, but he says he didn't start it.
He doesn't have the same ring to it.
But
We didn't start the tire fire.
We tried to fight it, meaning his generation. It might be the boomer generation.
Wait, maybe it's a 9/11 reference.
It came out before 9/11.
That's exactly it. Maybe Billy Joel has something to do with 9/11.
But
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
To me, at least to me, in '89, it was similar to a song that was a hit in '87, not as big as a hit, called "It's the End of the World as We Know It," which is a stream of consciousness listing of songs, of things, topics, people. And there's another similar list song that was a hit in '74 called Life is a rock, but the radio rolled me.
Yes, life is a rock, but my radio.
When they just list a
at the
bunch
end
of
my
rock and
rainbow
rolls,
lies a
rock and roll
golden
figures.
oldie.
And then if you want to go back to the 60s, Hank Snow had a hit with I've Been Everywhere. We just list places.
And you forgot, I think, Josie Cotton with Shopping from A to Z. Hey, apples, be bananas.
Oh, well, there's lots of list
The
songs.
Phantom Surfers.
So I don't know. It's kind of a cop out for a song, but according to Wikipedia, was written in reaction to a conversation that Billy Joel had with a 21-year-old who is not named,
but will be named in a lawsuit.
in the late 80s. The 21-year-old complaining about living in extreme times, and Billy got to grow up in the 50s when everything was nice, and he was like, oh no, everything wasn't nice in the 50s. And we know that.
No. That's why, as the line, Marilyn Monroe getting famous, 69 on Uranus.
Yeah, you know more about the lyrics than I do. I actually have them here. The first verse is Harry Truman, Doris Day, Red China, Johnny Ray, South Pacific, Walter Winchell, Joe DiMaggio, Joe McCarthy, Richard Nixon, Studebaker, Television. It goes on and on and on. That's just half of the first verse. And this goes on for 5 verses. The first 4 verses are basically the 50s, then it gets into the 60s. The last verse goes from all the 60s all the way up to the 80s. So that's why I think even Billy Joel in an interview says it's a horrendous song. He admits that it's a horrendous song, but only for the music. He thinks the lyrics are decent.
He's laughing all the way to the bank.
But even though he thinks it's horrendous, it's his 9th most played song in his sets, according to FM setlist FM. And he's played it as recently as September 10th of this year. So there you have it.
Before September 11th?
You played it the day before
September 11th.
Of this year.
The 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll have to think I don't know. Did he play a concert on September 11th?
Where was he on September?
I don't know.
We don't know. We don't know where he was. No.
He was on a plane to Saudi Arabia.
We're gonna get sued.
Billy Joel.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you don't have to look it up. Where he was on 11th. For you folks at home, Joe has been hypnotized by the screen in front of him.
Reading the lyrics of this
I
song.
regret this because
Okay, moving on. Okay, that's my worst song. Dan, what do you have a worst song?
I don't know if I have a worse song. I looked at, I wanted to see all of the charted songs for the last 55 years or so, and it was just too overwhelming. So I was like, what were the number ones? Because I'm sure there's a lot of those I don't like either. And there was a lot of songs I'd never heard of. And there was a lot of songs that were definitely contenders for this position, but my eye caught one and I was like, yeah. And the song, Hey Jude, I can't stand that song. I've never liked it. I'm not a huge Beatles fan, but and I'm definitely not a huge Paul McCartney fan, but there's something about that song that is like a cheese grater on your eardrum to me. And that's why I love that clip that I shared with you guys a while back of the sound guy at a Wings concert who isolated Linda's, because I can actually listen to that version of the song. I've never officially counted how many times they say "Sha na 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 na, Hey Jude," but I don't know. I don't know if I'm capable of getting to the end of the song. So if someone could tell us how many times they say it.
It goes on for like seven minutes, and a majority of the song is the ending.
And also, that there's only ever one person who was really a huge fan of that song, and that was Steve Bannon, until he found out they were saying "Hey Jude." Well, Steve Bannon's not going to sue us. So we don't have to worry.
You know what? There's something as I get older, I start to like Paul McCartney less and less the more I think about him and his songwriting style. It just seems like he is like preying upon people's like nostalgia or just a chord progression, like because that song is another one of the, you know, I don't know what key it's in, but it's that same chord progression of those 3 chords that everybody knows.
144 or whatever.
Yeah. And I don't know. I guess it's about John Lennon's son,
Yes.
who had some terrible music in the 80s. So I don't know. So yeah, my opinion, Hey Jude is the worst song. And if you don't like it, fight me.
Yeah. I was in the vanguard of not liking Paul McCartney, but also I always liked that in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, there's a lot of jabs at Paul McCartney, including one where he's sitting around the fireplace, strumming a guitar and humming a song to Linda and thinking, what shall I do with the prophets? Perhaps by Essex. So it's, love that book.
Okay, well, I took a little bit different approach to this. I really didn't look at charts and I didn't think about #1 songs necessarily, but what I did think about was songs that I just don't like and I know that were hits, you know, that charted. And both of the, well, I'm gonna, if you will indulge me, I will talk about 2 songs. They're slightly related, maybe. I asked this in rehearsal last night, what it had the Dead Milkmen ever written a song in the key of A minor? And Rodney informed me that yes, Rodney likes the key of A minor. Can you name the songs, Rodney? That
I can think of one off the top of my head, right off the top of my head is If You Love Somebody, Set Them on Fire is an A minor.
Both of the songs I'm going to talk about are written in the key of A minor. And I used to hear these are both, they were released in like 1975 and 1976. And I guess I was in like 8th grade, 9th grade, junior high, going into high school. They were played on the radio all the time. And every time I heard these songs, it made me feel depressed. They were just so down. There were downer songs for me for some reason. So the first song I'm going to talk about is the song called Miracles by Jefferson Starship. I hate this song. This song is written by a guy named Marty Balin, who was in the original Jefferson Airplane. The top chart position for this song, it peaked at #3 for 3 weeks in the Billboard Hot 100 in 1975. Again, it's written in the key of A minor. It's from an album called Octopus, which I am told was certified double platinum in 1995. And the interesting thing about this song is a little factoid. Reviewers listed Miracles among the best songs to pass the censor in the New Book of Rock lists. In the same book, they also described the lines, I had a taste of the real world when I went down on you, girl, as the most off-color line in the LP version of a hit song.
That's not even close to 69 on Uranus.
So the guy is clearly pleading with the woman who he's singing about, who doesn't feel quite as enthusiastic about the relationship as he does. Okay. I mean, the song just sounds, to me, it just sounds really depressing. It sounds like a cheesy, the production sounds like a cheesy wedding band. And I wouldn't be surprised if this was played at a lot of weddings, even despite the kind of lyrical content of the song. So I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised if none of you really like this song and maybe none of our fans really like the song. The next song that I thought about is probably a song that maybe the 3 of you like and maybe a lot of people like, but I don't like it for the same reason. It's in the key of A minor. Every time I hear it, I find it very depressing. And the song is called Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult.
Didn't we cover that?
Yeah, we covered it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's written by a guy named Donald Roser, known by his stage name as Buck Dharma. Its top chart position was number 12 in the Billboard Top 100 in late 1976. Again, it's in the key of A minor. From the Wikipedia page, I am told, Roser has said that the song deals with eternal love and the inevitability of death. Dharma wrote the song while picturing an early death for himself. He was appalled by some people seeing it as an advertisement for suicide, and that was not his intention at all. I quote, "It's basically a love song where the love transcends the actual physical existence of partners."
Oh, like Romeo and Juliet, where they
Yeah, and who are mentioning it? Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. We can be like they are. Not about suicide, but we can be like Romeo and Juliet together in eternity.
Yeah, I don't believe him. But and the song is so weird. It has like this weird bridge in the middle, which is like prog rock. It's just bizarre. And it was a hit song. And of course, the song was the basis for a well-known Saturday Night Live sketch, basically known as More Cowbell. So both of these songs were very popular hit songs, and I just can't stand either of them. So that's my answer.
I have mixed feelings about Don't Fear the Reaper because I like anything that's dark. And I think the PMRC was formed just to deal with Don't Fear the Reaper. I mean, it's when they talk about stickering, like putting stickers on records, I was like, they're going to sticker Madame Butterfly? Are they going to sticker the entire Blue Oyster Cult back catalog? What are they going to do? So I don't know. Wait, am I the only one who's has kind of a soft spot in my heart for Don't Fear the Reaper?
I don't mind the song.
I like it.
I like it a lot better than We Didn't Start the Fire.
I got to be honest. I only listened to it for that middle part. But that's the only reason I ever listened to it.
I like a ball peen.
Before that middle part's over, I just turn it off.
I like a ball peen hammer in the testicles better than We Didn't Start the Fire. Really.
What about the Heaven 17 version?
Of We Didn't Start the Fire? Or Don't Fear the Reaper?
Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah, I'm about to say that. There are a lot of great covers.
That might be better.
Yes, that is good. There are a lot of great covers of Don't Fear the Reaper out there. I think taken out of the, and I don't want to say overproduced because it needed more cowbell. Once you take it out of that realm and you give it to like and you take you put the rough edges back on it, it is kind of a cool song. So I'm on the fence. Listen to the covers on it. Maybe we'll do that next week. We'll each go listen to the covers of Don't Fear the Reaper, and we'll come back and we'll convene a jury. So, am I up?
Yes.
I got lost. Okay, so folks, for a show that's ostensibly about music, maybe comedy, and maybe about family health, we also do talk a lot about cryptids. We've covered Mothman, we've covered the Goat Man, El Chupacabra, but the one cryptid we have not covered, Goat Man lives. The one cryptid we've not covered is Gino Vannelli. It's about time that we addressed him. First, I want to thank the song that I'm going to talk about is a song by Gino Vannelli called Mama Coco, which again is barely polysyllabic. He managed to make two syllable words out of 4 letters, which is good for Gino Vannelli. They were probably sitting around going, "Oh, he's getting better. He's doing much better." I want to give much thanks. First of all, I would not have known about the song if it weren't for my buddy Oliver Rockside. Oliver Rockside had a show called You're Just the Worst, where he counted down the 100 worst songs of all time, discounting We Built This City on Rock and Roll, because everybody says we built this city on rock and roll. If you're in the comments section now going, it's really terrible, we built the city on rock and roll, don't forget to tell us about the peanuts that they serve on airplanes, or how New York and LA are different. But this album is, so Oliver Rockside, You're Just the Worst, seek that out. But this is from an album that came out in 1975, and it is called Storm at Sunup. Now, we're about to show the cover of Storm at Sunup. Please, for those of you who have heart conditions, pregnant women, anyone who gets easily nauseous, you can use this cover as an epicac. We're about to show it. You might want to avert your eyes for a minute. All right, we're back. So Storm at Sunup has, of course, Mama Coco on it. Now, sometimes we talk about old songs and we say they're problematic. Like there's a line or two in there. Problematic doesn't even begin to cover this one. So it's about, first of all, let me tell you what it's about. It's about a white man's attraction to a woman of color. So in the hands of anybody else in the universe, this might have been done in a sensitive, intelligent manner, but not in the hands of Gino Vannelli. No. I'm going to read to you a group of lines, not necessarily the worst lines in the song. These are the lines that come in the middle, and these are the ones that I wake up in the night screaming if they appear in my head. So, a dramatic reading by Mr. Rodney Anonymous of Mama Coco by Gino Vannelli. Mama Coco, such anticipation. Mama Coco, Mama, you're blowing my mind. Mama Coco, I'm just a male Caucasian. Mama Coco, I'm a virgin to your kind. Take a second and let that sink in. All right. That's not good. Now you think it can't get worse. It can't get worse. Oh, but it can. All right, everybody, strap yourselves in. Here we go. For those of you at home, pay quick attention to Joe's face. All right, here we go.
All at home.
Yep. Mama Coco, I don't get paranoid. I ain't no horny little mongoloid. All I wanna have is a little bit of love and joy. He tried to go positive there at the end. I just want to say right now, Bob Mercer is sitting somewhere going, "Oh, that's just wrong, dude, no, dude." So yeah, I'm again, much love to my buddy Oliver Rockside for bringing the song into my world. I told Oliver this was like sitting at number 25 on his list. I'm like, Oliver, this should have been number 1. This is the worst song on the planet. And this album that it's on, the I've tried to burn it from my head, Storm at Sunup. It stayed on the charts for 26 weeks in 1975. Again, 1975, like 1970, a toilet of this is why punk came along to wipe out stuff like this. And I can't remember. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch Soul Train a lot when I was a kid, like every week, which would be a lot. I remember they had Gino Vannelli on, and no, but I think they had him on.
He was never seen again.
Yeah. I was like, don't. I do remember seeing Bowie on Soul Train. That was kind of awesome. So that cheers me up. So I'm going to keep that happy thought in my head and push Gino Vannelli out. And I guess we'll move along.
Wow.
Unless you have questions. No.
No, I don't have any questions. I've never heard of this Mama Coco before.
We'll provide a link.
Okay. Recommendations. I'd like to recommend a YouTube video called Anthony Braxton Composition Number 19, performed at SoundSpace at the Blanton Museum. The Blanton Museum being a museum of University of Texas at Austin, in Austin, Texas. Composition 19 is a piece by Anthony Braxton, composed for 100 tubas. And I don't know if you've heard this performed before, but this is my first time seeing it with the actual tubas. I couldn't count all of them, but it has 4 different conductors. It's interesting. It goes on for, I don't know, 45 minutes or so, 42 minutes. But it's weird and it's kind of spooky at times, just the sound it makes. And I don't know, I thought it would be good October listen for people. So we'll provide a link.
Here's a fun fact for you, Joe. If you listen to, or you picture in your head a tuba orchestra playing Winchester Cathedral, you'll never get an erection again. It'll never.
No, it's good birth control.
It is excellent birth control. It is.
I'm pretty sure tuba in itself is a pretty good birth control.
Yeah, that's true. You wear that, nobody's gonna lay you.
You can also get it.
Tubas? What is that? All of them?
The comments filled up with all these angry tuba players.
Just the idea of getting 100 people in one space to do this performance is incredible to me.
Also, 100 people who independently decided, I'm going to play the tuba.
I would like to recommend if you take up a hobby and then for whatever reason you just stop doing it, either retake up that hobby or find like a slightly easier version of that hobby. So I was like knitting for a while and then I just gave up on it, and and then I discovered crocheting, which is one needle and it's a lot easier, and I literally just started today. So that, don't hold me accountable for anything, and don't be asking if I've made anything, but maybe I will.
You can make like similar or the same things with crochet?
Well, that's the thing. It seems like it's easier to make like three-dimensional stuff with well, obviously, you know, anything's three-dimensional, but like, you know, stuffed animals or whatever. I don't know. I always thought about it, and like knitting, I was doing like a lot of hats and stuff, and then I saw Sean Coyle doing some crocheting, and he was making like he made stuff for the kids too, like a little like Yoshi thing or something. So yeah, if you feel like, oh, I'm a failure because I took up that hobby and then stopped it, take it a slightly easier version of it.
I didn't realize crocheting was easier than knitting.
Well, I'm sure it's more complicated in some ways, but it's a hell of a lot easier because, like I said, there's only one needle, and you just kind of like, and then you can do so many different things with it. Maybe it's not easier. I don't know. Yeah, take up a hobby.
I would like to recommend. I sent this link to Rodney earlier today. It's a haunted house miniature diorama build. A woman named Jen Schrachter, who's part of the Adam Savage tested team, made like a die cut haunted house diorama type display. It's really cool what she did. She's got two different versions. She's got one that's like in a pumpkin and one that's like in a lantern thing. So yeah. So I'm gonna we'll provide the link. I think it's really cool. You can like download the plans for this thing. I'm sure you could like adapt your own and make your own, but I thought it was a really cool idea because Halloween is coming up and Halloween is the best. That's my recommendation for this week.
Yay. As Dean pointed out, it is October, and October means Halloween, and also for me, shameless self-promotion. So I'm going to talk for a minute about my radio show. The October edition of my radio show is out. On my radio show, October is usually the spookiest radio show. It is our all cryptid edition, featuring no Gino Vannelli, none whatsoever, but it does have a bunch of scary songs. You can get it on demand. My dad says it's the best radio show out there. Don't believe my dad? Don't fucking listen. But also, if you watch it and if you listen to it while at the same time watching, there's a video out there of just somebody walking through Highgate. It's almost 2 hours long. If you mute that and listen to my radio show while you watch it, it is an incredible Halloween multimedia experience. And at some point, you're going to be cruising around. You're going to need some Halloween music. So I heavily recommend my show. What I'll do, we'll give two links. One will go out to the Mixcloud link where you can just listen. The other will go to my website, the page for that show. And you can see the playlist. And you can see the video of the woman who died on Goatman Bridge. And you can also see the Highgate video, and you can link that all up. So like I like to say, I am a DJ. I am what I play, which means I'm Randolph N. Mortimer. Nobody got that joke. The other thing I want to recommend is a documentary from 2012, and it is called Vampira and Me. Now, if you don't know who Vampira is, first of all, grow up here. Vampira was a 1950s horror movie host. She basically was the anti-housewife. She was incredibly subversive for the 1950s, and she would later inspire people like Elvira. She would inspire Marlena Midnight, who I'm a big fan of Midnight Mausoleum. Just an amazing story, and it's very, very sad. Unfortunately, like with a lot of innovators, the innovators don't get the money on it. It's always the people who come along later. So you can watch it for free on Tubi. If you have Tubi, watch that for free. You know, you can also watch Bike Week Exposed with Jem from the Genitorturers, which is really good. But I would recommend that you start with Vampira and Me, which is excellent, and it will break your heart, unfortunately. That's what I got.
Rest in peace.
Oh yeah, hang on. Yeah, thank you. Oh God, thank you, Dean, for reminding me. R.I.P. Pat Fish, aka the Jazz Butcher. One of my favorite albums, Big Planet, Scary Planet, and I was honored. I got to see him live once, and just really, it's sad to lose him because an absolutely brilliant musician. like we've overstayed our welcome. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Time, don't fear the Reaper. 69 and on Uranus, don't fear the Reaper. Billy Joel's too famous, don't fear the Reaper.